What if the universe's deadliest hunters weren't all the same? What if behind every masked predator was a different species, a different story, and a different reason to kill? Most people think there's only one kind of Yautja, the classic, dreadlocked alien with heat vision and a shoulder cannon. But that's just scratching the surface. Over the years, movies, comics, and games have revealed that the predator race is anything but simple. There are clans, castes, hybrids, and even rogue factions with brutal reputations and chilling backstories. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of the Yautja, breaking down every known type of predator, their origins, their differences, and the terrifying legends behind them. Some you've seen on screen, others have stayed lurking in the shadows until now. The classic predator, jungle hunter. It all started in the jungle. The first predator we ever saw, known as the jungle hunter, was more than just a killing machine. He was a symbol of the Yautja's brutal honor code. Unlike mindless monsters, this predator had rules. He studied his prey, he didn't attack the unarmed, and when faced with a worthy opponent, he removed his mask, choosing to fight with pride instead of tech. Armed with a plasma caster, wrist blades, thermal vision, and a cloaking device, the jungle hunter had everything he needed to dominate silently and strike when least expected. This was the template, the standard other Yautja would either follow or reject. His story didn't end in Predator, 1987. In the comics, especially Predator Big Game, we see similar honor-bound hunters tracking prey across deserts and war zones, sticking to the same deadly code. These are the jungle hunters, a rank in Yautja culture that values the old ways, solo hunts, worthy kills, and ritual combat. But not every predator follows tradition. Some have no code, and that's where things get dangerous. The Lost Tribe, City Hunters. If the jungle hunter was precise and disciplined, the next group was anything but. In Predator 2, we meet the Lost Tribe, a clan of Yautja operating deep in the chaos of 1997 Los Angeles. Unlike the lone wolf in the jungle, these predators moved as a group, stalking the city's streets, alleyways, and subways like a pack of apex predators let loose in an urban jungle. Their style? Wild, aggressive, and experimental. Instead of sticking to one set of weapons, the city hunters introduced new tech, like the retractable combi stick, razor-sharp smart disc, and a net gun that could slice a man apart in seconds. They weren't just hunting, they were showing off. The leader of this clan, known as the City Hunter, broke many of the classic codes. He was younger, more impulsive, and far more reckless. But the real twist came at the end, when a full ship of predators appeared, confirming that this wasn't just one rogue, it was an entire crew. Fans later dubbed them the Lost Tribe, and their lore only expanded in comics and Nika canon. One standout is the Scout Predator, a fast, agile variant known for hit-and-run tactics and longer-range tech. These Yautja didn't just hunt, they adapted, evolving their methods with every new environment. But if these hunters pushed the rules, the next kind shattered them completely. Super predators, enhanced variants. Just when we thought we understood the rules, the Yautja broke them. In Predators, 2010, we were introduced to something darker, super predators. These weren't just bigger, they were biologically upgraded, genetically enhanced, and far more brutal than anything we'd seen before. Standing taller, moving faster, and showing zero regard for traditional honor, these predators didn't hunt for sport, they hunted to dominate. Unlike the jungle hunters or Lost Tribe, super predators came from a rival clan entirely. They viewed the classic Yautja as weak and outdated, and they weren't shy about proving it. On a remote alien game preserve, they abducted elite human killers and hunted them for fun. No codes, no mercy. Then came the Predator, 2018, and with it, something even worse. The Upgrade Predator. This creature was a full-blown hybrid, spliced with the DNA of other alien species and even humans. Its skin was bulletproof, it could regenerate, and it was obsessed with perfecting itself through constant genetic experimentation. These predators didn't just fight, they evolved mid-hunt. Gone were the rituals, gone was the code. These were monsters built for one thing, domination. But while some evolved through science, others took a step back, returning to primal instincts older than the weapons they carried. The feral predator, primal and relentless. Before the cities, before the plasma casters, before the rules, there was the feral predator. In Prey, 22, we were taken back to the early 1700s, where a completely different kind of Yautja emerged. Leaner, more animalistic, and way more brutal. According to director Dan Trachtenberg, this predator came from another region of Yautja space, one with its own customs, weapons, and way of life. Instead of high-tech lasers, the feral predator relied on primitive tools, like metal-tipped projectiles, a bone-covered mask, and a retractable shield sharp enough to slice clean through a tree. But don't mistake primitive for weak. This version was faster, more aggressive, and operated with a cold, calculated ferocity. What made him terrifying wasn't just his arsenal, it was the way he studied his prey. He didn't rely on overwhelming firepower. He earned his kills. He was a throwback to the raw, stripped-down hunter at the heart of Yautja culture. Farrell's arrival marked a turning point in the franchise. A look at what predators were before honor codes and tech defined them. Primal, methodical, unstoppable. But not every predator runs wild. Some exist to keep the rest in check. Adjudicators, the predator enforcers. Not all Yautja are allowed to hunt, and not all predators follow the code. When a predator steps too far, kills dishonorably, harms the innocent, or turns against their own, that's when the adjudicators arrive. Also known as enforcer predators, these rare Yautja act as the species' version of internal affairs. Wearing distinct white armor, they serve as a brutal police force, tracking and eliminating their own kind who've broken sacred laws. These rogue hunters are called bad bloods, and once labeled as such, they're no longer considered Yautja. They're targets. The enforcers don't play games. Their tech is advanced, their tactics are precise, and their missions are deadly. In the Bad Blood comic series and extended lore, we see just how far they'll go to keep Yautja society from unraveling. One enforcer even hunted a Bad Blood across Earth, leaving a trail of destruction behind him, all to protect the honor of the hunt. They don't hunt for sport, they hunt for justice. But while enforcers uphold the code, someone had to create it in the first place. Ancient predators, the elders of the hunt. Long before Earth ever knew their name, the Yautja had legends of their own. At the top of predator society are the elders, centuries-old hunters who've survived more hunts than most can imagine. These aren't just veterans. They're living myths, leaders of clans, keepers of honor, and in some cases, the final word on life or death. In Predator 2, we briefly see one of them, the Elder Greyback, who appears at the end to honor a human warrior, proving that respect between species isn't just a theory, it's tradition. These elders often wear ceremonial armor, carry ancient weapons, and bear markings from past victories that stretch across entire galaxies. Then there's the Predator King, a legendary figure from extended lore, said to lead entire factions of Yautja with wisdom, power, and terrifying authority. While details are scarce, whispers of the king suggest a ruler who has seen the rise and fall of clans, wars with other alien races, and the brutal evolution of the hunt itself. Elders don't often step into the field anymore, but when they do, it means something is coming. And there's still more. Hidden origins, strange ranks, and one predator who changed everything. Origins and the Alpha Predator, Kaail. Every legend has a beginning. For the Yautja, that beginning starts with Kaail, the original predator, the Alpha Hunter. Kaail wasn't just a warrior, he was a revolutionary. Long before the clans and codes, the Yautja were locked in a desperate war with the Amengi, a terrifying race of insectoid aliens who enslaved and hunted them. It was Kaail who led the first successful rebellion, turning the tide and forging the foundation for everything the predators would become. This fierce leader united scattered tribes and established the core principles of honor, strength, and the sacred hunt. He wasn't just a hunter, he was the architect of Yautja civilization. Stories say Kaail wielded weapons so deadly they reshaped warfare and inspired generations. Though shrouded in mystery, Kaail's legacy echoes through every predator, from the youngest scout to the oldest elder. His spirit is the reason they hunt, why they respect strength, and why their rituals still survive across the stars. So when you see that iconic mask, remember, behind it lies not just a warrior, but a history written in blood, rebellion, and survival. A final thought. From the disciplined jungle hunter to the reckless lost tribe, the brutal super predators, the primal feral, the ruthless enforcers, the ancient elders, and the legendary Alpha Kaail, each predator type reveals a new layer of complexity behind the mask. They aren't just killers, they're a culture shaped by honor, rebellion, survival, and evolution. Whether loyal to tradition or breaking every rule, each predator proves there's more to these hunters than meets the eye. Which predator surprised or fascinated you the most? Drop a comment and let me know. I'm curious which story hooked you.